Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here, and this is a new feature I'm going to be doing for our members here at DayTradingRadio. On Fridays, typically we send out what was called a high probability watch list, a technical watch list to set up on stocks that fit our criteria for the high probability methodology, usually divergent setups, triple stochastic setups, our methodology basically, our playbook trades. More on that if you want to find out more about that. Just head over to DayTradingRadio. This video is going to be focused on catalyst plays for the following week. So if I send out the video on Friday, it's for the next week. So today we're sending this out on the 23rd of December. So it's going to be for next week after Christmas. It's the last week of the year, and there's some FDA. And again, this will be focused on typically catalyst events, news events that are due. Upcoming due events that will move the stock aggressively one direction or another. We recently had a great setup. I'll show you the setup we had. We had Madrigal Pharmaceuticals. We had this one at around $60. And as you can see, it gapped up to $200. We took profits $200. It continued to go to $300, and now it's pulled back to $270. But one of the biggest point gains I've had in a long time. I don't think I've ever had more than 100 points on a trade. We've gotten up there in the 15, 60 on buyouts and stuff, but 100 points is really I think it was about 130 points altogether. It was incredible. And I knew that this was coming out because I do follow some of these stocks, and there's a few big ones that come out, and we've held this one for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, knowing that it was due, and it paid off. Now, anytime you have an FDA catalyst or some kind of catalyst for a drug, it could go horribly wrong too. So this is a good example of a great one, but there's many examples of ones that have gone bad. One that we recently, a lot of people have been watching, was the Viru. And as you can see, Viru here waiting for their results to come out of their COVID drug. And as you can see, it did drop off here pretty good. And I recently just got into Viru, even though it does have some catalysts coming up, but nothing on this next week, probably beginning of the year. And we'll go into those more as we get closer to those. So again, we're going to go over a couple, there's 4 stocks on this week's watch list. I'm going to go over it. We're just going to, I'm trying a couple different things. I want to do this weekly that goes out with the HPS watch list, but a separate video altogether. But I also want to keep it a little bit more organized. I was going to try a couple different things. It might not be set in stone yet the way I present this. All right. It depends on how much information, how we go over that information. Typically, I want to just get the information out there for you. I want to keep it short and sweet. Try to keep it under 15 minutes. All right. I want to type out stuff. I get a lot of my information from Pharma Catalyst site, which I pay for. So it's a kind of an added benefit that you're going to get behind the scenes on some good information here. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I want to test this out. Again, this is not something I discussing the trials. I'm not doing a deep dive on them. I want to get them out there. I want people prepared. And then if you like what you're seeing, or you like the initial observations of these and the initial analysis of this, then you could do a little bit deeper dig or get yourself in position. All right. So I do have a program that's going to be talking about the individual stocks in the trials that have happened leading up to this point, and then I'll go over the charts, and we'll do that for each individual stock. So I actually set it up with a voice to text thing and got some information, typed it out, and she's going to do a nice job of explaining this. I hope it works out. If it sounds too artificial, then I'll do it myself. Again, I just wanted to kind of make it a little bit more professional. So let's give this a shot. Again, this is the first time around. This is for next week, the week of December 25th or December 26th. Monday we're off, so it's going to be a shortened week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And, again, we'll go forward with this. All right, first stock is GTHX. GTHX. Here we go. Hope you enjoy it.
G1 Therapeutics, Inc. is a commercial-stage biopharmaceutical company focused on the development and commercialization of small molecule therapeutics for the treatment of patients with cancer. G1 has previously had Cosela approved in 2021 for the treatment of small cell lung cancer. This year G1 is set to report initial data from its Phase 2 PRESERVE 3 trial of Cosela as a treatment for urothelial carcinoma. This trial represents one of 3 PRESERVE trials testing Cosela with other cancer indications. Enrollment has been completed in this trial with a primary endpoint of progression-free survival. The initial safety and response data is due this year with primary endpoint data due in 2023. This will be the first initial data out of the PRESERVE program and may shed some light onto Cosela's performance and is a mid-cap Danish-based biopharmaceutical company focused on the manufacturing of products for rare diseases. G1 Therapeutics, Inc. is a commercial-stage biopharmaceutical company focused on the development and commercialization of small molecule therapeutics for the treatment of patients with cancer. G1 has previously had Cosela approved in 2021 for the treatment of small cell lung cancer. This year G1 is set to report initial data from its Phase 2 PRESERVE 3 trial of Cosela as a treatment for urothelial carcinoma. This trial represents one of 3 PRESERVE trials testing Cosela with other cancer indications. Enrollment has been completed in this trial with a primary endpoint of progression-free survival. The initial safety and response data is due this year with primary endpoint data due in 2023. This will be the first initial data out of the PRESERVE program and may shed some light onto Cosela's performance in other cancer indications.
All right, well, there it is. That sounded pretty good, right? And the interesting thing about that, they've been previously had Cosela approved in 2021 for treatment of small cell lung cancer. So again, using this drug for a different cancer, that's actually sounds like a positive. I like the chart here, $5.70. We go out a little on this. That's the daily right now. You can see it did run up to about 50, a little over 15, now back all the way to 5. It's down here. I kind of like this. You know, I think it's probably worth a shot on this just because it had some success with this drug. Again, deep dive might be necessary on your part if you want to take a look at it. I think I want to probably try to get in on this on Tuesday if news doesn't come out already. It seemed to have had a couple gap downs. I don't know if, again, if that leads, if there was some news out there, I could dig down a little bit deeper. Let me just double check here. All right, so the move here on the 17th is they did a cash raise there. They raised $50 million. Actually, let me go back here. Announced a price and an offering of common stock. So it looks like they did an offering of common stock. I think they did raise some money on that. So that's what caused the gap down here. Lots of times you'll see that come out. They'll do do a raise after the results. It's a good time to do that. So I don't know if that kind of tells me they're going for a cash grab here while they, just taking an advantage of it in case bad news comes out. They have it, or, anyway. So this is something that's definitely interesting. That's the reason for the gap downs, and this should be due out the end of the year or possibly close to the beginning of the year. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is going to be Ascendis Pharmaceuticals. All right, we're going to look at Ascendis Pharmaceuticals now, and the chart here, $119. It looks pretty strong. Let's just hear about it right now.
This will be the first initial data out of the PRESERVE program and may shed some...
I'll get right to it here in a second.
Ascendis Pharma AS is a mid-cap Danish-based biopharmaceutical company focused on the manufacturing of products for rare diseases. Ascendis has one approved drug in its pipeline, Skytrofa, for the treatment of growth hormone deficiency in children. Ascendis has a float of 57 million, with an average daily volume of 537,000. It is set to release Phase 1/2 data from its ILLE trial of Transcan IL-2 beta-gamma monotherapy to treat solid tumors. The trial is currently enrolling patients with top-line data and monotherapy data in the fourth quarter of this year. Transkin is a Sendus transient conjugation technology that can be designed to act systemically or locally, with applicability to proteins, peptides, or small molecules.
All right. Well, the price, again, $119. It's not bad. I didn't hear when that was going to be coming out, even though I have it on the calendar for the end of the year. So we're going to jump right to the next one. The next one is going to be Ions. We've seen this one before. Let's just bring up the chart. And again, a lot of these stocks here have been, in and out, volume coming in. This one's $38. We'll pull back. It seems to be in a slight bear flag. It's a negative rotation here as you push up here, and this moves sideways. That's a negative divergence. But again, when it comes to earnings, anything, at this, not earnings, but as a catalyst like this, anything can happen. So let's go and take a look at it.
Transkin is a Sendus transient conjugation technology that can be designed to act systemically or locally.
It always stops right at that point. So it goes back to the beginning of the...
Ionis Pharmaceuticals, Inc. is a mid-cap biotech firm that is focused in discovering and developing ribonucleic acid-targeted therapeutics. Ionis is primarily focused on our cardiovascular and neurology franchises. This year Ionis is set to release data from its Phase 2b trial of Ionis AGTLRX to treat hypertension. Almost 70 million adults in the United States have hypertension, half of which have uncontrolled hypertension. About 12 to 15% of patients with uncontrolled hypertension have resistant hypertension, defined as failure to achieve a blood pressure goal of 140/90 despite the use of 3 or more antihypertensive medications.
Well, that's it. That's that one. Pull back here again. Kind of looks negative on the chart, but again, any type of catalyst right there just trumps all chart action. Now, those are the three. The first one definitely looks like the one I want to get into, but we'll be watching these next week, all of these next week. Now, I have one more I want to point out to you, and I'm going to go over that myself because we've been following it. I'm going to bring this up for you. Here's some pipeline database updates here. We got TGTX here. PDUFA date extended to December 28th, so that's next week. We have some other ones. Phase 3 data presented, reported no serious adverse events noted, and filing due by fourth quarter of 2022. I don't know if that's going to move anything. There is one down here that is interesting. I'll just scroll through these in case you find that you want to dig down a little bit deeper on some of these. As you could slow that down. But the one I'm going to look at here for you, there's the Ion. LABP here. LABP. Landos Biopharmaceutical. All right, let's take a look at this one. We see that its phase 1 dosing has been initiated on November 2nd. They're treating lupus and rheumatoid arthritis, or from that. Top-line results are due later this year, which is, again, this year right now, 2022. So at the end of this year, I'm not, phase 1, LABP. Let's take a look at the chart. And this one kind of got a pop the other day. And you can see it's actually holding on the 50, holding on the 200. The volume came in a little. Down here at this level, I mean, you know your risk down here. It's 42 cents. With some, and in this environment, any type of FDA good news on a penny stock like this, any type of news is probably giving this thing at least 100% gain. So 80 cents to $1, maybe even, who knows where this goes. As you can see, this thing came down from $15 way back over here and just really just got hammered. So this is coming up. Could be an interesting one. I like the risk reward at this point, 42 cents a share. And that's the one that we're going to be watching going into next week also. And that's the first edition of the Biopharma Catalyst Watch List going into the end of the year. Hope you enjoyed that. Give me some feedback if you liked it, if I can improve it. anyway, just let me know. I could handle it. And I'll see you guys in the market. Again, this is going out to members. I'm actually going to send this out to everyone. But if you want more, and I'll probably, send these out to subscribers of the YouTube for a couple weeks. But they all go out to the members of Day Trading Radio also, automatically. So have a great holiday. Have a great Christmas, Hanukkah. And we'll catch you in the markets next Tuesday when the markets open up. Have a good one. DayTradingRadio.com, by the way.